The twin suns of Kepler 442b burned red through the dusty atmosphere as Taman carried his mate across the rocky wasteland. Each step sent sharp pain through his legs, but he kept moving. Minji lay limp in his arms, her once bright silver scales now dull and gray. Her breathing came in short gasps that made his heart race with fear. "Stay with me," he whispered to her, though he knew she could barely hear him anymore. "We are almost there." The human mining station sat ahead like a metal mountain against the orange sky. Smoke rose from its tall towers and bright lights flickered across its surface. Taman had never been this close to a human settlement before. His people always said humans were strange creatures who built things everywhere they went. Now he hoped those strange creatures might help him save his mate. Minji stirred in his arms and opened one golden eye. "Taman," she said in a voice so soft he had to lean down to hear her. "The eggs, I can feel them moving. They need food or they will not survive." Taman's throat tightened. Draconian females needed special foods during egg-bearing time, foods that were rich in metals and proteins that their mountain territory no longer had. The great storms of the last season had driven away most of the large prey animals. The metal-rich plants that grew near the lava flows had died when the rain stopped coming. He had tried everything. He flew to the Zenthari trading post 3 days north, but they laughed at him when he asked for help. "Dragons eat other people," the blue-skinned trader had said. "Why should we feed you so you can grow strong and hunt us later?" The Korvaxi settlement near the southern cliffs had been worse. Their leader took one look at Minji's swollen belly and said, "Pregnant dragons mean more dragons. The galaxy has enough trouble already." Even the peaceful Threnodi, who claimed to help all living beings, turned him away. "We cannot spare food for carnivores," their elder explained. "Our resources must go to those who do not hunt others." Now only the humans remained. Taman knew little about them except that they were new to this part of space. Other species called them either very brave or very stupid, sometimes both. They were small compared to most galactic races, with no natural weapons or armor. Yet, somehow they had claimed territory on dozens of worlds and seemed to work with everyone. The mining station's main gate stood 20 feet tall and made of thick metal. Taman could see movement behind the fence, small figures in work clothes moving between large machines. He walked up to the gate and found a small panel with buttons and a screen. Words in the human language appeared, but he could not read them. "Hello," he called out, his voice cracking from thirst. "I need help, please." The screen flickered and a voice came from speakers nearby. "This is Mining Station 7. State your business." "My mate is dying," Taman said. "She carries eggs, but has no food. I have tried everywhere else. Will you help us?" Silence stretched for long seconds. Taman's heart sank. They would refuse him too, just like all the others. He looked down at Minji, whose breathing had become even more shallow. Then the voice spoke again. "Step back from the gate. We are opening it now." The massive metal doors began to swing open, with a deep rumbling sound. Taman blinked in surprise. No questions about payment. No demands to know what he could offer in return. Just immediate action. A human male walked through the opening gate. He was shorter than Taman but looked strong, with dark hair and kind eyes. He wore simple work clothes covered in dust and grease. Behind him came 2 other humans, a female with her hair tied back and another male carrying what looked like medical equipment. "I am Yunwu, foreman of this station," the first human said. His voice was calm and steady. "Let me look at your mate." Taman hesitated. Letting strangers get close to Minji went against every instinct he had, but she was dying and he had no other choice. He gently lowered her to the ground, keeping one protective hand on her shoulder. Yunwu knelt beside Minji and studied her carefully. He did not touch her, but Taman could see him taking in details, the color of her scales, the way her breathing sounded, the slight swelling of her belly where the eggs grew. "How long since she last ate properly?" Yunwu asked. 6 days, Taman replied. "Maybe 7. I lose track of time." "And before that?" "When did the food shortage begin?" 2 months ago. The storms changed everything. The animals left or died. The plants we need stopped growing. Hyunwoo nodded and stood up. Jiwon, he said to the female human, prepare medical bay 3. Make sure we have the heated recovery beds ready. He turned to the other male. Dong-Yun, contact Dr. Soo-young. Tell her we have a pregnant draconian female in nutritional crisis. We need her here now. Both humans hurried away without question. Taemin watched them go, still not quite believing what was happening. You will help us? He asked. Just like that? You do not want to know what I can pay you? Hyunwoo looked at him with those steady eyes. Your maid is sick and your children are in danger. What else do I need to know? But I am draconian. We are hunters. Predators. Other species fear us. Maybe they do, Hyunwoo said. But right now you are just someone who needs help, and she, he gestured to Minji, is someone who is going to be a mother. That is all I see. Minji's eyes opened again, and she looked up at the human foreman. Thank you, she whispered. Hyunwoo smiled. Save your strength, you are going to need it. Can you walk or should we bring a transport? I can carry her, Taemin said quickly. I am sure you can. But you look tired too. Let us help. Within minutes, a small vehicle arrived. It moved quietly on smooth wheels and had a flat bed perfect for carrying someone Minji's size. Several humans worked together to help move her onto it, their hands gentle but sure. They covered her with warm blankets and checked her breathing again. As they started moving toward the station, Taemin walked alongside the transport. He kept looking at Hyunwoo, trying to understand this strange human who showed no fear, asked for no payment, and seemed to know exactly what to do. Why? Taemin finally asked. Why do you help us when others will not? Hyunwoo was quiet for a moment. Then he said, because someone has to, and because helping others is what makes us human. Taemin did not fully understand what that meant, but as they passed through the station gates and he saw other humans stopping their work to watch with concern rather than fear, he began to think that maybe, just maybe, he had found the right place after all. The inside of Mining Station 7 surprised Taemin more than anything he had ever seen. He expected dark tunnels and rough living spaces like the other settlements he had visited. Instead, he found clean hallways with bright lights and walls, covered in growing plants. The air smelled fresh instead of stale, and he could hear the sound of running water somewhere nearby. Humans moved through the corridors with purpose but not panic. They nodded to Hyunwoo as he led the transport carrying Minji deeper into the station. Some stopped their work to look at the two draconians, but Taemin saw curiosity in their faces instead of fear or anger. Medical bay is just ahead, Hyunwoo said, walking beside the transport. Dr. Soo-young should be waiting for us. They turned a corner and entered a large room filled with equipment Taemin did not recognize. Beds lined the walls, each one surrounded by machines with screens and blinking lights. The air here felt warm and humid, like the caves where draconians preferred to rest. A human female hurried toward them. She had gray hair tied back and wore a white coat over her regular clothes. Her eyes were sharp and alert as she looked at Minji. This is Dr. Soo-young, Hyunwoo said. She knows more about alien biology than anyone else in this sector. Dr. Soo-young knelt beside the transport and began examining Minji without touching her. How many eggs is she carrying? She asked. Taemin. 3, he replied. Maybe 4. It is hard to tell. And this is her first time laying eggs? Taemin nodded. We have been mated for only 2 seasons. Dr. Soo-young made notes on a small device. Her scales show severe mineral deficiency. Look at how dull they are around her neck and shoulders. That means the eggs are taking all the nutrients from her body to develop properly. Is that bad? Taemin asked, his voice tight with worry. It is natural, Dr. Soo-young explained, but dangerous if she does not get the right food soon. The eggs will continue growing whether she has strength or not. We need to feed her before she becomes too weak to survive the laying process. Hyunwoo stepped forward. What does she need? Iron, calcium, and several trace metals. Also, high quality proteins that her body can process quickly. Dr. Soo-young looked at Taemin. What do draconians usually eat during egg-bearing time? Taemin felt embarrassed to answer. Large prey animals, especially their bones and organs. Also certain plants that grow near volcanic vents. They contain metals from deep in the ground. He expected the humans to look disgusted or worried. Instead, Dr. Soo-young nodded as if this made perfect sense. We can work with that, she said. Hyun-woo, contact Ki-hoon in the kitchen. Tell him we need to prepare a specialized meal. Also ask Ji-won to check our mineral storage. We might have what we need from the mining operation. Already on it, Hyun-woo said, speaking into a small communication device. Ki-hoon, we have a medical situation that requires special food preparation. How quickly can you work with Dr. Soo-young on a custom meal? A voice came back through the device. Give me 20 minutes to clear my workspace. What kind of dietary needs are we talking about? Pregnant draconian female, severe nutritional deficiency. Understood. I will start gathering supplies now. Taemin stared at the humans in amazement. They spoke about feeding a dangerous predator like it was the most normal thing in the galaxy. No negotiations about price, no demands for guarantees of safety. They just started working on solutions. I do not understand, he said to Hyun-woo. Why are you helping us so easily? Other species wanted payment first. They wanted promises that we would not hunt in their territory. They asked many questions about our intentions. Hyun-woo helped move Minji from the transport to one of the heated beds. What questions should we ask? Your mate is sick. Your children need their mother to survive. Those are facts, not negotiations. Dr. Soo-young began attaching monitoring devices to Minji's arm and neck. The machines immediately started showing numbers and wave patterns on their screens. Her heart rate is too fast, she said. Blood pressure is low. She is dehydrated and her body temperature is dropping. We need to start treatment now. She inserted a thin tube into Minji's arm and connected it to a bag of clear liquid hanging from a metal stand. This will help with the dehydration. It also contains basic nutrients to give her some immediate energy. Minji's eyes opened, and she looked around the room with confusion. When she saw all the humans working around her, she tried to sit up. Easy, Dr. Soo-young said gently. You are safe. We are trying to help you. Taemin. Minji's voice was weak, but clearer than it had been in days. I am here, he said, taking her hand. These humans are going to feed you. They say they can get the foods you need for the eggs. Minji looked at Dr. Soo-young with golden eyes that still held intelligence despite her weakness. You know about draconian eggs? I have studied many species, Dr. Soo-young replied. Each one has different needs during reproduction. Your people require high levels of certain minerals because your eggs have very hard shells. Without those minerals, the shells become weak, and the babies inside cannot develop properly. You have helped other draconians before? Dr. Soo-young smiled. You are the first draconian I have treated. But I have helped deliver babies for 17 different species in the past 3 years. The basic principles are often the same. Mothers need proper nutrition, safe environments, and people who care about their well-being. Ji-won appeared in the doorway carrying several containers. I brought samples from our mineral storage, she said. Iron ore, calcium compounds, and some of the rare earth elements we extract from the deep mines. Dr. Soo-young examined the containers. Perfect. Ki-hoon can work with these. She looked at Taemin. In your territory, which animals did your mate prefer to hunt? Mountain grazers mostly, large ones with thick bones, sometimes the flying creatures that nest in the high peaks. What about their blood? Did she drink it fresh? Taemin nodded, feeling strange discussing his mate's hunting habits with these small, gentle creatures. Good. Fresh blood contains many nutrients that get lost when meat is cooked or stored. We can replicate that. Dr. Soo-young made more notes. Ji-won, do we have any of the large herbivores in cold storage? The mining crew brought down 2 hill beasts last week. Ki-hoon has been saving them for a special occasion. This qualifies as special, Hyun-woo said. Tell him to use whatever he needs. A new voice came through the communication system. This is Ki-hoon. Dr. Soo-young, I need to ask about preparation methods. Should I focus on rare cooking to preserve blood nutrients, Or do draconians prefer their meat completely raw? Dr. Soo-young looked at Minji. What sounds good to you? Minji's eyes brightened slightly. Warm but not cooked, like it would be fresh from a hunt. You heard her, Ki-hoon. Warm and fresh. Understood. I am also preparing a bone broth with the mineral supplements. It should be ready in 30 minutes. Taemin felt overwhelmed by how quickly everything was happening. These humans worked together like they had done this many times before. They asked practical questions and found practical solutions. No drama, no fear, no complicated negotiations. How much will this cost? He finally asked. I need to know what I owe you. Hyunwoo looked at him with those steady eyes again. Right now, the only thing that matters is getting your mate and your children healthy. We can worry about everything else later. But surely you want something in return. Maybe we do, Hyunwoo said. But first let us make sure you have a family to return home to. Then we can talk about the future. Minji squeezed Taemin's hand. I think I chose the right mate, she whispered. You found the right people to help us. As Taemin watched the humans work with calm efficiency to save his family, he began to realize that maybe the galaxy's other species were wrong about humans. They were not just brave or stupid. They were something else entirely. Something he was only beginning to understand. The smell hit Taemin first. Rich, warm, and familiar in a way that made his own stomach growl with hunger. It smelled like home, like the successful hunts of better times. But underneath that familiar scent was something else. Something that made the air itself seem more nourishing. Ki-hoon entered the medical bay pushing a cart loaded with covered dishes. He was a stocky human with kind eyes and hands that moved with the confidence of someone who knew his craft well. Behind him came 2 other humans carrying additional trays and equipment. Fresh mountain grazer prepared exactly as requested, Ki-hoon announced to Dr. Soo-young. Body temperature maintained, blood preserved, and I added some of the mineral compounds you specified. Dr. Soo-young checked the monitors attached to Minji. Her vital signs are stable. I think she is ready to try eating. Minji had been dozing, but the smell of food brought her fully awake. Her golden eyes opened wide and she lifted her head from the heated bed. Is that really fresh meat? She asked, her voice stronger than it had been in days. As fresh as we can make it without you doing the hunting yourself, Ki-hoon replied with a smile. He uncovered the first dish, revealing perfectly prepared portions of rich red meat that steamed in the cool air of the medical bay. Taemin stared at the food in amazement. It looked exactly like what Minji would have eaten after a successful hunt in their mountain territory. The humans had somehow prepared it to look, smell, and even feel like prey that had just been taken down. How did you know? He asked Ki-hoon. How did you know exactly how to prepare this? Dr. Soo-young gave me detailed instructions based on draconian biology, Ki-hoon explained. But I also did some quick research while I was cooking. We have access to databases that contain information about most known species and their dietary needs. You studied my people while you cooked? Basic. Nutritional requirements, preferred food temperatures, digestion patterns. Nothing too complicated. Ki-hoon uncovered another dish. This is bone broth made from the marrow of the same animal. It contains concentrated calcium and iron that should help with eggshell development. Dr. Soo-young helped Minji sit up slowly. Try small amounts at first. Your stomach needs to adjust after not eating properly for so long. Minji took a careful bite of the meat. Her eyes closed in pleasure and relief. This is perfect, she whispered. It tastes like the best hunt I ever made. There is more, Ki-hoon said, uncovering additional dishes. I prepared several types of organ meat that are rich in different nutrients, heart, liver, kidneys, all from healthy animals. And this, he revealed a final dish, is something special. The last dish contained what looked like crystallized fruits, but they glowed with a faint inner light. Taemin had never seen anything like them. What are those? He asked. Processed mineral supplements, Dr. Soo-young explained. We took the raw materials from our mining operation and refined them into a form that your mate's body can absorb easily. The sweet coating makes them taste better and helps with digestion. Minji tried one of the glowing crystals. Her eyes widened in surprise. It tastes like the metal-rich plants that grow near the lava vents, but sweeter. Much sweeter. We added, some natural sugars to give you quick energy, Ki-hoon said. Your body needs fuel to process all these nutrients properly. As Minji ate, Taemin watched in amazement as color began to return to her scales. The dull gray that had worried him for days started to brighten back toward its normal silver shine. Her breathing became deeper and more regular. Even her posture improved as strength flowed back into her muscles. I feel the eggs moving, she said between bites. They are becoming more active. I think they can sense that I am finally getting the food they need. Dr. Soo-young monitored the machines attached to Minji. Heart rate is normalizing. Blood pressure is coming up to healthy levels. Her body temperature is stabilizing too. How long will it take for her to fully recover? Taemin asked. If she continues eating like this, probably 2 or 3 days, Dr. Soo-young replied. The eggs will absorb nutrients quickly once they are available. But she needs to eat regularly and get plenty of rest. Hyun-woo entered the medical bay carrying a steaming mug. I brought tea made from plants that grow in our hydroponics bay. Dr. Soo-young says it will help with nausea and provide additional vitamins. Minji accepted the mug gratefully. After taking a sip, she looked up at all the humans, gathered around her bed. I do not understand why you are doing this for us. In all my life, I have never met beings who would feed their food to a hungry predator. You are not just a predator right now, Hyun-woo said gently. You are a mother who needs help. That makes you our responsibility. Responsibility? Taemin repeated the word, not sure he understood its meaning in this context. When someone needs help and we can provide it, we have a responsibility to act, Hyun-woo explained. It does not matter what species they are or what they might do, in other circumstances. Right now, in this moment, you need help. So we help. Jiwon appeared in the doorway. Foreman, I hate to interrupt, but there is something you should know. Word is spreading through the station about our draconian guests. The crew is asking questions. Taemin felt his heart sink. Now it would come, the fear, the demands for them to leave, the change in attitude he had experienced everywhere else. What kind of questions? Hyun-woo asked. They want to know if there is anything else they can do to help. Sang-woo in engineering is asking if we need any special equipment built. Yoonbi from communications wants to know if she should contact other draconian settlements to let them know this pair is safe. And Jimin from maintenance has been researching draconian nesting requirements in case the eggs are laid here. Taemin blinked in surprise. They want to help more? Of course they do, Hyun-woo said as if this was the most natural thing in the galaxy. We work together here. When one of us has a problem, we all work to solve it. That includes temporary presidents like yourselves. Dr. Soo-young checked her instruments again. Speaking of nesting, we should discuss where Minji will be most comfortable when the time comes to lay the eggs. This medical bay is good for treatment, but not ideal for the actual laying process. What do you need? Hyun-woo asked. Somewhere warm, private, and secure, preferably with soft materials for nest building and access to fresh air. The eggs will need to incubate for about 30 days after laying. Storage Bay 7 is mostly empty, Jiwon suggested. It has good climate control, and we could modify it easily. We could install heating elements in the floor, Ki-hoon added, and bring in nesting materials from the surface. There are some soft mosses that grow near the thermal vents that might work well. You would do that? Minji asked, her voice full of wonder. You would build a nesting place for my eggs? Why would we not? Dr. Soo-young replied. You cannot. Travel safely until after the eggs are laid and begin incubating. We want you and your babies to be as comfortable as possible during that time. Taemin felt something strange happening in his chest. A warm feeling that had nothing to do with the heated air of the medical bay. These humans were not just helping them survive. They were planning for his family's future, thinking ahead to needs he had not even considered yet. I have never heard of such kindness, he said quietly. Other species help their own kind sometimes, but to help strangers, to plan for their future, to give so much without asking for anything in return, I thought such things were just stories. Maybe they are stories in other places, Hyunwoo said. But here, this is just how we do things. Minji finished another portion of meat and leaned back against her pillows with a satisfied sigh. I can feel strength returning to my body. The eggs are settling into a calmer pattern. I think they know they are safe now. We are all safe here, Taemin said, looking around at the humans who had turned his desperate situation into something that felt almost like hope. I am beginning to understand that these humans are not like other beings in the galaxy. How? So? Dr. Soo-young asked curiously. Taemin thought for a moment, trying to find words for something he had never experienced before. Most beings think first about what they can gain from helping others. You seem to think first about what others need and then find ways to provide it. It is backwards from everything I know about how the galaxy works. Hyunwoo smiled. Maybe the galaxy could use a little more backwards thinking. As Minji continued eating and her strength visibly returned, Taemin realized that his understanding of the universe was changing. He had come here expecting to beg for basic survival. Instead, he had found something he had no name for. Beings who treated the welfare of strangers as their own responsibility. He was beginning to suspect that there was much more to learn about these strange, small, generous humans. 3 days had passed since Taemin carried his dying mate through the gates of Mining Station 7. Now Minji sat comfortably in the specially prepared nesting chamber, her scales bright silver again and her belly round with healthy eggs. The humans had transformed Storage Bay 7 into something that felt more like home than anywhere Taemin had been since leaving their mountain territory. The walls were lined with soft mosses and warm stones. Heat radiated gently from the floor, keeping the air at the perfect temperature for egg development. Fresh water flowed in a small stream along one wall, and the ceiling had been opened to show the sky above. It was better than any nest Taemin could have built in the wild. The eggs will come soon, Minji said, resting her hand on her swollen belly. I can feel them getting ready. Maybe tomorrow, maybe the day after. Taemin nodded, still amazed by how much stronger she looked. Are you comfortable? Do you need anything else? I am more comfortable than I have ever been, she replied. These humans think of everything. A soft knock came at the chamber door. May we come in? It was Jiwon's voice. Of course, Minji called back. Jiwon entered, followed by Sangwoo, a tall human with gentle hands who worked in the station's engineering section. He carried a small device that hummed quietly. I brought the incubation monitor Dr. Soo-young requested, Sangwoo said. It will keep track of temperature and humidity levels around your nest. If anything needs adjustment, it will alert us automatically. You continue to amaze me, Taemin said as Sangwoo carefully placed the device in a corner where it would not disturb Minji. Every day you think of something new to help us. Jiwon smiled. Actually, we wanted to talk to you about that. About why helping comes so naturally to the people here. I have been wondering about that myself, Taemin admitted. Other beings in the galaxy are not like you. Even peaceful species ask many questions and demand payment before they help. You just help. There are reasons for that, Jiwon said quietly. Personal reasons for most of us. Sangwoo finished setting up the monitor and sat down on a cushion the humans had provided. Has anyone told you about Hyunwoo's background? No, I know he is your foreman, but nothing else. Before he came here, Hyunwoo was a military medic, Jiwon explained. He served on the front lines during several conflicts. His job was to keep soldiers alive long enough to get them to proper medical facilities. He saved many lives, Sangwoo added. But he also lost many people because he could not get them the help they needed in time. Sometimes because resources were not available. Sometimes because regulations prevented him from treating certain species. Sometimes because people in command decided some lives were worth more than others. Taemin felt a chill despite the warm air of the nesting chamber. That must have been difficult for him. It nearly broke him, Jiwon said. When his military service ended, he applied to work at remote mining stations. He wanted to go somewhere far from wars and politics. Somewhere he could help people without anyone telling him who deserved help and who did not. So he came here? He came here and requested the most diverse crew possible, humans from different backgrounds who had their own reasons for wanting to help others without conditions. Sang-woo gestured toward the door. Dr. Soo-young lost her own family when she was young. They were traveling between colonies when their ship had an emergency. They sent distress calls to 3 different stations, but each one refused to help because they were not citizens of the right planets, or did not have the right permits, or could not pay the docking fees in advance. Her family died while stationed. Controllers argued about paperwork. Ji-won continued. She became a doctor because she swore that would never happen to anyone else if she could prevent it. Minji shifted on her nest, her golden eyes sad. How terrible. To lose family because others would not help. Ki-hoon has his own story, Sang-woo said. He grew up on a colony world where food was scarce. His younger sister died of malnutrition because the government rationed food based on work assignments. Children and elderly people got less food because they could not work in the mines. He became a cook, so he could make sure no one went hungry. Around him, Ji-won added. Ever since then, if someone needs food, Ki-hoon feeds them. No questions, no conditions. Taemin was beginning to understand something important. You all came here because you wanted to help people. Not just help, Ji-won corrected. Help the right way. Help without asking what someone can do for us in return. Help without deciding who deserves it and who does not. But there is something else you should know, Sang-woo said, his voice becoming more serious. Something about your mountain territory. What about it? Ji-won and Sang-woo looked at each other as if deciding how much to tell him. Finally, Ji-won spoke. Your territory is not as isolated as you think it is. We have been monitoring the area. For almost 2 years, Taemin felt alarm rise in his chest. Monitoring it, why? Because we discovered that someone was stealing food shipments meant for the native wildlife populations, Sang-woo explained. The ecological balance in your mountain region has been deliberately disrupted. The storms you mentioned, the ones that drove away the prey animals, Ji-won continued. Those were not natural storms, they were caused by illegal weather modification equipment. What? Minji sat up straighter, her protective instincts making her voice sharp. Pirates have been operating in this sector for months, Sang-woo said. They steal supply shipments and sell them on the black market. To cover their activities, they use weather control devices to make it look like natural disasters are causing the shortages. Taemin felt anger building inside him like a growing fire. You mean my mate nearly died because criminals were stealing our food? Yes. And they have been doing it to other native populations across several star systems. But why did you not stop them? Minji asked. Ji-won looked uncomfortable. We tried. We reported it to the sector authorities multiple times, but the pirates have connections with corrupt officials. Our reports were ignored or lost in bureaucracy. So we started taking direct action, Sang-woo added. Small things at first. Repairing weather damage, leaving supply drops where affected populations could find them, providing medical aid when requested. You have been helping our people without us knowing? We have been helping everyone we could reach, Ji-won confirmed. Draconians, Zenthari, Korvaxi, Threnodi, anyone affected by the pirate activities. Taemin stared at them in amazement. The food shortages, the territorial disputes between species, the lack of medical supplies. It was all caused by these pirates? Most of it, yes. The pirates benefit. When native populations are weak and fighting each other instead of investigating who is really causing their problems. Minji's eyes blazed with golden fire. Where are these pirates now? That is the good news, Sang-woo said with a slight smile. 3 days ago, while we were taking care of you, our security chief Minho managed to track down their main base of operations. What happened to them? Let us just say they will not be stealing any more food shipments, Ji-won said. The sector authorities became much more interested in our reports once we provided them with the exact location of the pirate base and detailed evidence of their crimes. Taemin felt like the world was spinning around him. Everything he thought he knew about the recent troubles in his territory was wrong. The food shortages, the desperate competition between species, even his mate's near-death experience. It had all been caused by criminals who profited from others' suffering. Why did you not tell me this before? He asked. Because your mate needed medical attention, Ji-won replied. And because we wanted to be sure the pirates were caught before we explained what had really been happening. Also, Sang-woo added, we wanted you to understand who we are before we told you what we have been doing. We did not want you to think we helped you only because we felt guilty about not stopping the pirates sooner. Minji reached out and took Taemin's hand. These humans have been protecting our people for years. They risked their own safety to fight criminals that their own government would not stop. And they did it without asking for thanks or recognition, Taemin said slowly, just like they helped us. This is what humans do, Ji-won said simply. When we see problems, we try to fix them. When we see people suffering, we try to help them. It is not complicated. But it is dangerous, Taemin pointed out. These pirates could have attacked your station. They could have, Sang-woo agreed. But some things are worth the risk. As Taemin sat in the comfortable nesting chamber surrounded by evidence of human kindness and generosity, he realized that everything he thought he knew about the galaxy was changing. These humans had not just saved his family. They had been secretly protecting his entire people, while fighting criminals that more powerful authorities had ignored. I think, he said quietly, that the galaxy is lucky to have humans in it. We are lucky to be here, Ji-won replied, and lucky to be able to help. Minji suddenly gasped and placed both hands on her belly. The eggs, she said with excitement and strain in her voice. They are coming now. The soft glow of morning light filtered through the open ceiling of the nesting chamber as Minji carefully arranged the last of her 3 eggs. Each one was the size of a human head, with shells that gleamed like polished silver in the gentle warmth. She had worked through the night with Dr. Soo-young and Taemin at her side, and now she rested against the soft moss bedding with exhaustion and joy mixed on her face. They are beautiful, Dr. Soo-young said quietly, checking the monitoring devices that track the temperature and humidity around the nest. Perfect shell formation, ideal size, and the incubation readings are exactly what we want to see. Taemin knelt beside his mate and gently touched one of the eggs. He could feel the life moving inside, strong and healthy. I can sense them, he whispered. 3 little ones, all active and growing well. How long until they hatch? Minji asked, her voice tired but happy. About 30 days if everything continues normally, Dr. Soo-young replied. The monitoring system will track their development and alert us if anything needs attention. Hyun-woo entered the chamber carrying a steaming cup and a plate of food. Ki-hoon prepared fresh broth and recovery meal for new mothers, he said, offering them to Minji. He says you need to rebuild your strength after the laying process. As Minji gratefully accepted the food, more humans began quietly entering the chamber. Ji-won brought soft blankets. Sang-woo carried additional heating elements to ensure the eggs stayed at perfect temperature. Ki-hoon himself appeared with a cart full of carefully prepared meals designed to help Minji recover her strength. You do not need to do all this, Taemin said, though his voice carried gratitude rather than protest. You have already done so much for us. This is important, Ji-won replied simply. New life is always important. Dr. Soo-young finished her examinations and smiled. Both mother and eggs are in excellent condition. With proper care, you should have 3 healthy babies in a month. What happens then? Minji asked. When they hatch, I mean. We cannot stay here forever, but our mountain territory may still not be safe. Actually, Hyun-woo said, settling down on one of the cushions, we wanted to talk to you about that. About the future, and about some ideas we have been discussing. What kind of ideas? The pirate problem is solved, but it will take time for the ecosystem in your territory to recover fully, Dr. Soo-young explained. The weather damage needs to heal, animal populations need to return, and food sources need to regrow. We estimate it will take at least 6 months, maybe a full year. Sang-woo added. Taemin felt worry creep into his chest. We cannot survive that long without proper food sources. That is where our idea comes in, Hyun-woo said. What if you did not have to choose between staying here or returning to a damaged territory? What if there was a third option, What do you mean? Jiwan leaned forward. We have been thinking about this station's future. Right now we focus mainly on mining operations, but we have proven that we can work successfully with multiple alien species. We have medical facilities, food production, and defensive capabilities. We also have something else, Ki-hoon said. We have trust. Different species trust us because they know we will help them without hidden motives. What are you suggesting? Minji asked, though her golden eyes showed she was beginning to understand. A permanent partnership, Hyunwoo said. Not just with your family, but with your entire people. A new kind of community where humans and draconians work together. Taemin stared at him. You want us to live here? Permanently? We want to build something bigger than just a mining station, Dr. Soo-young explained. A place where different species can live and work together safely, where medical emergencies get treated immediately regardless of who needs help, where food is shared based on need rather than ability to pay, where children can grow up knowing that their neighbors will protect them even if they look different or come from different worlds. Jiwan added. Sangwoo nodded enthusiastically. We have already talked to other species in the region. The Zenthari are interested. So are some of the smaller Korvaxi settlements. Even a few Threnody groups have expressed curiosity. You have been planning this for a while, Taemin realized. We have been hoping for it, Hyunwoo corrected. But we needed to prove it could work first. Your family has been our proof of concept. How so? You came here as desperate strangers from a species most beings fear, Dr. Soo-young said. Now look around this room. Every human here considers your well-being to be their personal responsibility. Your children will grow up with dozens of adults who will teach them, protect them, and help them become whatever they choose to be. Minji looked down at her eggs, then up at the humans surrounding them. What would this partnership look like? What would we contribute? Your people have abilities we lack, Hyunwoo explained. You can fly, which gives you perspectives we cannot achieve. You are naturally strong, which helps with heavy work and dangerous situations. You understand this planet's ecosystem better than we ever will. But more than that, Ki-hoon said, you understand what it means to be outsiders, to be judged by what others fear about you instead of who you really are. That understanding makes you natural protectors of other outsiders. We have already seen it, Jiwan added. Yesterday, when that injured Zenthari trader arrived, you were the first one to offer help. You did not think about old territorial disputes or species differences. You just saw someone who needed assistance. Taemin remembered the moment. A young Zenthari female had crash-landed near the station with engine trouble and injuries. Without thinking, he had helped carry her to the medical bay and stayed with her until Dr. Soo-young confirmed she would recover fully. I did not even think about it, he admitted. Exactly, Hyunwoo said. That is what we are talking about. Natural cooperation, helping because it is the right thing to do, not because of contracts or agreements. But what about our mountain territory? Minji asked. It has been our people's home for generations. It will still be there, Dr. Soo-young assured her. As the ecosystem recovers, some draconians may choose to return to traditional life. Others may prefer this new kind of community. Both choices should be available. And the children, Sangwoo said, looking at the 3 eggs. They will grow up with more choices than any generation before them. They can learn human technology and draconian traditions. They can work in space or in mountain caves. They can be whatever combination of influences shapes them. Taemin felt something shifting inside his understanding of the future. A month ago, he had been focused simply on survival. Now these humans were talking about possibilities he had never imagined. There is one more thing, Hyunwoo said quietly. Something that happened while you were focused on Minji and the eggs. What? Word of what we did here has spread beyond this sector. Other human settlements have heard about our success with interspecies cooperation. Earth Command has taken notice. Is that good or bad? It is very good, Jiwan said with a smile. They want to use Mining Station 7 as a model for future colonies. They are sending resources, additional personnel, and official support for expansion. They are also sending families, Dr. Soo-young added. Human families who want to raise their children in diverse communities where cooperation is more important than competition. Ki-hoon grinned. And they are sending me 3 assistant cooks who specialize in multi-species cuisine. I will finally have help feeding everyone properly. Minji laughed, the sound bright and musical in the warm air of the nesting chamber. So my children will grow up in a place where dozens of species live together peacefully? If you want them to, Hyun-woo said, the choice is yours, but we hope you will stay. We hope you will help us build something that has never existed before. Taemin looked around the room at faces that had become familiar and dear to him. These humans had saved his family, but more than that, they had shown him a new way of thinking about the future, a way where differences were strengths rather than problems. I think, he said slowly, that our children should grow up knowing that the universe can be a place where strangers take care of each other, where help is given freely, and differences are celebrated. Is that a yes? Jiwon asked hopefully. Minji reached out and took Taemin's hand. It is a yes from both of us. We want to help build this new kind of community. As cheers and congratulations filled the nesting chamber, Taemin realized that he had brought his mate here expecting to beg for basic survival. Instead, he had found something much more valuable. He had found a new definition of home. 6 months later, the settlement that had once been Mining Station 7 was home to over 200 beings from 12 different species. The 3 young draconians who hatched from Minji's eggs grew up, speaking 4 languages and learning to cook recipes from 6 different worlds. And when other desperate families arrived seeking help, they found not just humans willing to assist them, but an entire community dedicated to the idea that everyone deserved care, respect, and a chance to build a better future. Taemin often thought about that first desperate night when he carried his dying mate through the station gates. He had been looking for someone to give them a meal. Instead, he had found people who taught him that the best way to survive in a difficult universe was to make sure that everyone around you could survive too.